I know.
But they saw that wifey material in you.
I want you guys to be the opposite of wifey material. This is your homework for the week. I want you to learn to be
a wifey
literally the opposite of wifey material. Like, know how to be it for when you do become wifey, but learn the opposite for dating purposes.
Right.
Like, because I want to see how these men will treat you when you literally provide nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that for you. Not that you are incapable because you're providing everything for yourself, but why does a man that's not giving you anything deserve the best parts of you? You know what I mean? Or the caring sides of you. Like, no. Take care of yourself. I'll take care of me. I'll see if there's potential here, and maybe I'll give you a little bit more of me. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to jump in showing you everything I got. Like, no.
Right.
No.
I don't have to give you all this love.
No.
Oh my gosh, guess what, Sarah?
What?
I have Never Back on my phone.
Oh my.
Like, I can put it back on
She
Never.
got a new phone.
Yeah, so she's like a new bitch, basically.
No, like, clearly.
You know what I mean?
It's like an upgrade. You know what I mean?
Is.
Like, it really, really is. That's what it feels like. Like, you remember that episode of, like, Black Mirror? Where, like, everyone was rating each other and you could see, like, everyone's ratings?
Yes.
Like, sickeningly? Is that even a word?
Sickeningly?
Yes. And just surprisingly, but not really, like, I feel like when we get new phones in our society now, not the Black Mirror world.
Right.
Like, it's almost like an upgrade of ourselves. Like, tell me it doesn't affect your self-esteem a little bit when you get a new phone. It doesn't even have to be the newest phone, but when you do an upgrade.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you feel like a part of your identity also upgraded. Yes, I know how ridiculous we sound, but we live in the age of technology.
It's true.
And, like, being a millennial, we got to experience life without phones and then heavy into it, like, more so than, like, Gen X and, like, boomers. Because we were just, like, teenagers when phones became a thing. And I feel like we notice these toxic aspects of having a phone. Are we still indulging in them? Yes.
Oh, 100%.
But I feel like we're the ones that indulge in them and are also aware of the toxicity of technology at the same time, like more than other generations.
Yeah. No.
You know, because Gen Z is fully in it.
Yes.
Gen X and boomers are like, these kids, you know what I mean? But they're like still trying to figure it out.
Trying to remember the good old days. Like,
but they're still trying to figure out their phones.
Exactly.
I mean, boomers are even worse. Like, when they can't figure something out, they get angry. Like, this stupid phone. Like, nobody made you get an iPhone.
It's not the technology's fault.
You could have gotten a flip phone if you wanted to.
Right. Do they still make flip phones?
They do. They do the throwaway ones, too.
Oh, shit. They still
you know
got
what,
them
the gas
burner
station
phones.
and shit. Yeah, of course. People are still hoeing. People are still selling drugs. Like, it will be here till the death of time.
Here to stay.
Is it the dawn of time or the death of time?
That's a
I'm
good
gonna go
question.
with the death.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's the death of time.
till the death of time.
Okay, so I have to share something.
Yeah, share.
Okay, so you know how currently we're in like the Mercury retrograde shadow period.
Yeah.
And as we have said on this channel, like sometimes the shadow period is worse than the actual thing. You know what I mean? But tomorrow is Mercury RX, so we're like in it. You know what I mean? And boy, are we in it, because your girl got Mercury RX'd in a physical way.
Oh, no.
Because you know how, like, Mercury, like, brings upon, like, miscommunication, like, misinformation, accidents, any sort of accidents, you know? So I had a doctor's appointment, you know? And I'm like, oh, how cute. Like, I got lucky enough to have my doctor's office, like, right next to a really nice park in the city. I'm like, oh, my God, like, I'm going to make a little morning out of it. I'm going to go to my doctor's appointment, and I'm going to get some coffee at a cute coffee shop, and I'm going to, like, walk the park. You know, everything's going perfectly. Doctor's appointment went splendidly. Love my doctor. She's just so sweet. And then I get out, and I'm like, you know, I'm just, like, feeling myself. I'm like, life is good. Let's go find it. I go on Yelp. I find a coffee shop. I go there. Coffee's bomb. Like, they had this breakfast sandwich. Like, everything was going absolutely fucking perfectly. I felt like an angel embarking on her day. You know? So then I go to the park, and I'm walking. And you know when, like, your playlist is hitting? Like, it's hitting.
Right. You look like
you're like,
dancing
oh,
a little,
this is
like,
my life.
jamming.
No, literally. Like, I'm not even walking. I'm just, like, dancing.
Just feel the rhythm of the
No,
beat.
you know what I mean? Like, life is good. Like, nothing can go wrong. I am very grateful. I am high on endorphins.
Yeah.
Boom, a bike hits me.
Shut up.
I fell. He falls. What? It's a commotion. It is a whole commotion. Like, I literally went from bliss, like, nothing can fuck up my life. Like, I am on cloud 9. So, like, that feeling of you falling and, like, being like, what the fuck is happening? I'm on the floor. This group of men are like, oh my God, are you okay? And they're all like coming to me, like one of them's picking up my AirPods, the other one has my wallet.
Oh my God.
Do you need anything? And then the biker's like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, it was this dude. He's like, I'm not gonna leave your side. Are you okay?
Oh
and
my
I'm like
gosh.
sitting there, I'm like, one AirPod out, like, you know what I mean? Like, other one down there. I'm like,
No,
literally.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
No, actually, I'm like, help, I've fallen, and like, fuck off. Like, I'm just like dying, because I'm like, how did this happen? Like, there's no way on my perfect morning, this is what was gonna happen. Like, this is what was planned. So now I'm tuning everyone out. It's between me and God at this moment.
Right.
I'm like, I cannot believe you did this to me right now. So I have to like calm everyone down. I'm like, I'm good. You guys can keep walking. Like, please leave me alone. Like, just leave me alone.
Of course, then Capricorn rising has to be the
literally,
sense
I'm
of
like,
calm
I'm
in the
like
moment.
embarrassed, you know? I'm like, ew, like I don't need help from anyone.
Stop.
But it was bad. Like, it was bad. And then finally I get them to leave, and then the dude's like, what do you need? I'm like, please, like, you look like you're fucked up even more than me. Like, just go away. Like, I kind of hate you. Like, I wanted to go off on him, but I was just in such shock that I just like didn't. And when you said Capricorn rising, yes, because literally it's a problem. I literally, like, my back was hurting, my ass was sore. I just picked up my shit, and I was walking straight, right? I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the guts. Like, I don't even want to walk the normal way anymore. I like took my things and I started walking. I'm like, I'm gonna go sit on some grass. I'm gonna go touch some grass.
Yeah.
Because like that was a lot. And when I sat there, I'm just like, why me? And then I thought about Mercury retrograde. I'm like, oh my God. And it clicked in my head because everyone was saying, and it's true, this Mercury retrograde is in Gemini. So it's going to be very like, just like obvious Mercury retrograde things going wrong. You know what I mean? Like accidents, you know, typos, like just random shit like that. And I just giggled to myself because I'm like, okay. So I'm done, right? Like nothing bad is gonna happen to me after this. Like I got a really bad one, right? I got one of the worst ones.
I got my clumsy moment out, so like
and
we can be done with this.
But
right?
I'm just crying, and I guess the lesson I want everyone to take away is that like even when you're feeling high on life and like it's your day, God will humble you. You know what I mean? And when that happens, all you can do is just get up with grace. You best believe I got an Uber back home and I took a nap. Like, I napped so quick. I've never fallen asleep that quickly. My body was like, yeah, it's time. Go to bed.
He's like, get your ass like up out of here. Okay,
and I wanted to tell Maya this story earlier, but I saved it for the pod because that's just how committed I am to an honest reaction. So yeah, go ahead, make fun of me.
Thank you so much for sharing, and honestly, I'm sorry for laughing so much because
don't even.
I would be upset too. Like I'm imagining myself that happening because, like I was saying, like when I'm really feeling myself too, like a little song's on, I'm like dancing, you know.
No, you don't like, and you know I'm a Leo Mars.
Right.
I'm a performer. I was like, oh no,
lost in the moment, and to be. Okay, can I?
It all happened so fast. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, can I also say though, I hated the men in this story because I feel like they were like watching the whole time, just like hoping something would happen so they could speak to you. Because the fact that they were all like, "What you need? I'm here for you, baby."
No, I know.
I got this. How can I?
I need a woman. Like,
okay.
Are there any ladies around here?
Like, thanks for the help, but like,
no. Obviously, I appreciated it.
No, obviously,
but also like I was sitting there and there was like 10 guys around me, and I'm just like, like,
this is too much.
Can you guys like pretend this didn't happen?
Right? Like I'm embarrassed.
And one of the things that got out of my bag was my fucking crystal. That shit was scratched. And I just remember looking at it like, you didn't do shit. You didn't protect me at all. I'm mad at you. Just crying. Just
crystal needs to be saged. Maybe it needs to, you know
what
I mean?
I had 3 crystals in my bag, but that's the one that got out.
Which one was it?
Carnelian.
Oh.
I was not grounded. Like, what can I say? I was literally the opposite of grounded.
Yeah.
Apparently. I was feeling grounded when I was walking. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it. I'm like, how much does my back hurt? I'm like, I don't know. Like, that kind of really hurt.
Yeah.
Like, 5,000 hurt. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to share.
Oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. Again, sorry that happened, but thank you for the laugh.
You know, I have to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Even though it was one I wanted to keep to myself, but I just couldn't. Because the longer I waited, the more I giggled when I thought about it. I'm like, oh, it's funny. It's fine. It's funny. I haven't had a fall like that in years.
Okay. So, I wanted to talk about something really weird that I saw in the news.
Oh.
And it was, like, kind of funny, too, but also, like, what you doing out here? So, apparently,
I'm ready to know.
NASA is out here sending nudes into space. They're apparently projecting a naked man and a naked woman and, like, their DNA structure out into, like,
what's the purpose?
Universe.
Quickly.
Hoping to attract aliens. Quickly, she's like, get to the point.
No. Not quickly. Like, not you need to hurry up. I want them quickly to tell me why.
Yeah.
That is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. Like, truly, like, what? Because they want to... That is a lie.
So you want aliens to come up over here?
We already know they're already communicating with them.
Right.
The government's already talking to these aliens. Come on, you guys.
For real.
And this isn't no conspiracy theory. It's called a fact. How about that?
It's true. But how funny would it be if they tried to, like, be like, oh, the aliens were attracted to the nudes, and that's really our first communication with them. Wouldn't that be so funny if they really tried to paint that picture?
Even to the aliens?
Yes, because I feel like that's what they're ultimately trying to even do now. Like, what the fuck you mean you're showing little naked figurines to the aliens?
No, I feel like that's one of those things. No. Here's my theory.
Why are we only sexual reproductive beings? We can't just be like...
I don't know. I feel like they're trying to create like some sort of distraction. Like, that is so stupid.
Isn't it?
Like, sometimes I think about the shit that's on the news about what our government's doing or whatever, and I'm like, is this real, or do you just want us to talk about it because you're distracting us from something else that's really going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, but why? Like, what is the purpose? Quickly.
Truly, I don't know, because we all know that aliens exist, and that's why I thought this was so weird, and, like, why are you doing it?
And, like, aliens can't...
what does an alien care about our fucking physical human bodies? You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about that shit. They don't care about that.
And my thing is, you don't think aliens have, like, those glasses that, like, just take away your clothes and they're looking at, like, those x-ray vision?
They don't think they could see us already naked?
It's just weird.
I just thought it was very
like, of all the things they could show them,
strange.
They could show them art. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Why are you
don't get me
showing
wrong, a woman's body is art, but like, you know,
right? But like a man's body, question. I'm just kidding.
It's true.
I'm kidding. But I just thought that was so weird.
No, that's really funny.
Like, also, you're putting us forward as like a sex. Thirsty country. I mean, we are. and world, really.
We are, but, you know.
But, like, what?
Okay. I mean, speaking of bodies. Perfect segue. So, I don't know if you saw, but over the weekend, Meg was trending, Meg Thee Stallion. And there was this video with her and Party. And it was them at, like, the club.
Oh,
And, like, you know... they were just doing their damn thing. Like, she was like dancing and he was like holding her up, straddled around her. And you know, Megan's thick and beautiful. So like, you know, he has to be very strong. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Because she's all muscle, baby, okay? And she's tall. She's 5'10". Yeah. I want to make that clear. So it was trending and like all the girls were like, damn Meg, or like, damn Party, like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone was like, like, you know what I mean? So then this morning I woke up to this, God, I don't know what it is with my Twitter feed, but like clearly they know I'm gonna have a reaction. It's like, I feel like
sometimes they bring the toxicity.
Yeah, they're like, here's the little toxic tweet of the day, and let's see how you're gonna react to it. And boy, am I reactionary, just like everyone else that responded to this dude's tweet. So this dude, and I know he's not the only one. He tweeted, Meg weighs 148 according to Google. I think most of my male followers, including myself, can bench press that. Like, essentially saying, like, what Party's doing is not that big of a deal, and, like, anyone can do that, blah, 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 blah. And already looking at that, I had a problem with it because I'm 5'10". So it's just very odd, and everyone else in the quotes was literally saying that. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I responded, and I said, LOL, I'm 5'10". Trust me when I say if I was 148, I would be stick skinny. She also has hella muscle. Men really don't know shit about women's bodies. At all. And literally everyone, his fucking replies were just amazing. People just canceling him left and right. Women telling him, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Like, truly, if you're 5'10", you're going to be a lot more than 148, especially when you're like Megan. And I can speak for myself too. I'm 5'10". When I was in the 40s, I was so skinny. Yes. You know what I mean? So it's so funny that like people make these bold statements without knowing any truth about anything. And also just like, don't talk about women's bodies. Like, that's what I really want to say out of this. Because it was just so funny. Because when I said this, he responded to my tweet. He said he wants to know for research purposes. Apparently, he said on his page. Oh my God. He was like, "How much do you weigh?" And like my friend and like my mutuals were like going off on him like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, who asked you? And like he's just like, "I didn't ask y'all." Like he was like just going, "Oh my God,
getting hella defensive, getting crazy about it."
Because like first of all, it's rude to talk about women's weights and just their bodies. Yeah. And just men in general, I feel like they make these bold statements about women without really knowing anything. Is what I'm really trying to say. Not all men.
100%.
But most men.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No. 100%. And it makes me so angry because, like you just said, you don't know anything really about a female's body, their anatomy, how they carry weight. Like, just because she may look thin in certain places doesn't mean that she isn't packing thickness in other areas and other stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I feel like maybe he's thinking like, oh, she looks slim, you look thin. So like,
I don't think he thinks that. He literally said he went on Google and he Googled it just to find out. So yeah, that's what he said. He said Google.
He Googled her weight and then was like, I could bench press this.
He said Meg weighs 148 according to Google. Yeah. Like, bro, stop. And honestly, after I engaged with this, tweet, I really thought about it, and I'm like, I am so grateful to have thick, tall women in the industry nowadays, because, like, truly, growing up, like, first of all, there weren't women like that in the media, and as a tall girl, I tweeted about this, like, I feel like it was really hard, because I was around a lot of petite and short girls, and when you think about weight comparisons, when you're looking at someone who's way shorter than you and petite, and you try to think, well, why don't I weigh like that? Or even America's Next Top Model, what we would watch. Yeah. Like, the media itself, like, everything is just so toxic. And, like, people don't really think about, like, how much your height affects how much you weigh. You know what I mean? Yes. And just, like, a lot of times when you're overthinking about, like, the number on the scale or what you consider to be skinny, you really have to consider your height, too. And I'm just so appreciative of women like Meg that are in the media that are tall like me. And I get to see these bodies that are not stick skinny and that I can actually relate to. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way. It just feels nice.
Yeah, no, it's representative of more of the actual world and how people are made up. You know what I mean? I feel like in media, you're so right. We've seen mostly one type of skinny, thin type of body, or even just like whatever, certain types of bodies. You know what I mean? And I feel like just now in the past 5, 7 years, I wouldn't even say 10 full years, are other bodies being appreciated and shown in media. And as a Black woman who has not also seen, like, not saying it's the same, but has not seen, like, a lot of Black people in media, like, yeah, it is hard to be like, well, am I beautiful? Like, how can I relate to these people?
Yeah.
I see that this is plastered all over the place, and how do I find value in that when it's clearly not like me, but that's what everyone else is valuing. Does that make sense? It's like, and it hurts, because it's like,
it does hurt.
You see that that's what you value.
For sure.
And then it's like, but so then you don't value me? You don't think I'm beautiful? You don't think the way that I'm made is beautiful?
Yeah. It's just nice just seeing different types of bodies being shown off in a confident way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is truly what I value. And, like, I've just gotten to this place in my body image journey where, like, I know that with different seasons of life, I'm going to gain weight, I'm going to lose weight. And it feels nice to see people in the media doing the same thing. Like, you don't always have to come back to that same place, because that is so toxic. Your emotions affect how much you weigh. You know what I mean?
Your
what you're
age,
going
your
through.
height, your so
also,
much.
like, different things that your bodies are going through. Like autoimmune diseases. All these things affect you. And I feel like finally we're making some progress in terms of body image for women especially, because we just had these people that were size 0 to 4 to look up to all of our childhood and teenage years and young adult years. And now I feel like we're getting to a place where we just see all shapes and sizes, and I'm really happy. And I feel the same way with men. I hope there are more plus size models for men too, because they deserve that too, and they exist too.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, for sure, because I'm glad that you said that, because I feel like we do hear sometimes that men feel the same type of pressure, but it's just not as much spoken about. Obviously, we're not men, so we can't really speak on it. But I'm glad that you highlighted that, because men definitely suffer with that as well. Okay, so then I have a question for you.
I love questions. This Gemini moon loves questions.
Yes.
The Scorpio and me, I don't know about that.
Right.
Y'all know I will answer questions on here.
Right.
It's just later my Scorpio will watch and be like, ooh, should have kept that one to yourself.
We appreciate that you keep it honest, though. You know what I mean? And that you're open.
It is my duty.
Yes, yes. Okay, so as per usual, I feel like I was driving in my car, having a deep thought.
The best things for a Sag. Like, on route. On
yes.
route.
It's true.
Sagittarius just has some really great
ideas. You know, it's like almost like the shower thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, they just like flow. But sometimes they're fucked up, like we were saying on one of our most recent episodes. They're very invasive and they just come and hit you. And that was this question for me.
Oh, okay.
Around role models. And I was thinking, like, when I was younger, there were definitely people who I was like, that's my role model. Like, I really look up to them and I want to be like them.
Yeah.
You know? And then I was let down always by my role models. That's really what I'm trying to get at. Like, anyone who I tried to put up on a pedestal ended up, like, letting me down. So I wanted to know how you feel about role models. Do you think that this is, like, a thing that even shouldn't be, like, considered anymore? Like, should people still have role models? Like, is anyone worth really looking up to these days?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I love this question. And I feel like, yes, it's nice for people to have role models, especially when you're younger. But you have to be kind of realistic with yourself, which is hard to do when you're younger.
Yeah.
About the fact that people will disappoint you. Like, you know what I mean? No one is a god on this planet. So my issue with the term role model is that a lot of times we have this preconceived notion of the fact that this person can do no wrong.
Yeah.
So when they do that, you almost feel like this idea of them is crumbling down. And it is a disappointment, and it kind of feels like heartbreak, because you told yourself if you were to just live life like them, life would be perfect. So when they fuck up and you notice that, you're like, well, what was the point of me doing that? You know, that's why your sense of self-worth can't come from someone else, because even a role model, that's essentially what you're doing. Like, if I continue to look up to them and if I continue to live my life the way they're living theirs, I will be a good person, or whatever you want to be, whatever that role model is to you. And I feel like at the end of the day, people are going to disappoint you. And the first example of that is our parents. Like, a lot of people looked up to their parents being their role models. And then you start noticing the little shit they do as you grow older. And you're like, ooh, you're not so perfect yourself, honey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it just feels weird. So I feel like if people need role models to kind of motivate them, do that, but also be aware of how much pressure you're putting on that person too.
Yeah.
Because I want to look at it from the other end when people are like, well, you're a role model and like, you should act this way. They do it for like celebrities a lot of times. And it's like, people weren't born to be your role model. They're living their life. And if you just so happen to like the way they live their life and you want to look up to them, that is a decision you made. They don't have to all of a sudden start acting tip-top perfect shape for you. Like, that's unfair. They're human just like you.
Yeah.
You know, we need to give people the space to make their own mistakes.
Yeah.
Because you make mistakes. Do you not? I make mistakes. You make mistakes. Like, we should be able to make mistakes without thinking that we're disappointing the people that we're role models for.
Yeah.
You know? Because that puts too much pressure on people.
Yeah.
And I'm all about zero pressure.
Yeah, no, for sure.
These days, I just want people to live their life. And if you happen to make a difference in other people's, amazing. But you're not on this planet to live life for other people and to be a good example for them.
Yeah.
I hope that what you're doing already makes you a good example, but that's not your purpose. Is to just always be a good example.
No, I'm so glad you said that because, like, I feel like when I was younger, I really tried to, how do I say this? Like, I almost blindly followed the people who I considered my role models. You know what I mean? And it was because I was young and you're like, oh, like, they have the right way. Like, they're perfect. They got the answer.
Yeah.
And I feel like as you get more mature and more older, you're like, not everybody has this shit figured out, really. Like you were saying with the
or
parents.
They've been faking it.
Yeah.
For you.
Right. And you have to kind of battle with that reality. And I feel like for me, that was way too much at a young age when people were like, yeah, you got to look up to somebody and aim for something high, you know? And when I started aiming, but I started to see the cracks in it, it was really hard for me not to like be so hypocritical and judgy of it later. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it didn't allow me to have faith in certain things.
Yeah.
You know, at a young age, which was shitty. And I feel like it was a growing up thing that wasn't like taught to me of like, yeah, there has to be a balance, you know? And that's what you were speaking on. It's like, you can't put pressure on this role model to do everything for you because most of the time they don't even know that they're your role model. You know, like they have to be all like, holier than thou.
Yeah,
and
like
it's just,
I didn't realize you were God.
Right.
Like truly. Like I didn't know I was here to impress you. Like, am I doing good enough for you?
And you're not, but you know, like you see people and like I can only think of my energy as a young child and I'm sure they feel that pressure. They see you wanting more from them. And then they sometimes are like, oh, let me try, but then they fuck up.
You know, I just thought about it like in terms of like, because, again, first experience with role models, I feel like is your guardians, right? Like your parents. And I feel like, it's like heartbreaking because this perception that you have of them is broken. And I feel like it's equally heartbreaking for them as it is for you. And maybe it's very important, like if you are the parent or the guardian or someone that they look up to, like a younger person, is to honestly just be clear about the fact that you are a human and sometimes you will make mistakes. I feel like that is so much, like that's so easy. But I feel like it's not done enough. Like, sometimes we don't give children, teenagers, whatever, the grace to be like, oh, like, maybe you will understand. Like, I would, if I have kids, I would love to have that conversation with them as early as they can remember a conversation to be like, hey, like, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I make mistakes, but, like, I'm always going to try my best. And I feel like as a child hearing that, you will also grow up to be a little bit easier on yourself. Because if we have we've seen it plenty of times, these rigid parents, these hardworking parents, these parents that don't make time for their kids, but they're just working so hard to provide a good life. You look up to that, but then you grow up to be like that too. You are emotionally unavailable maybe, or maybe you're a little bit just like a little bit too strict, you know, because you feel like shit has to be done a certain kind of way. You don't let yourself live because that's how you saw your parents were, you know, or you were hard on yourself when you made a mistake because your parents were always perfect. You know, it's important to just be honest. I feel like with kids, as early as you want that, hey, I'm an adult and I'm going to do my best, but sometimes I'm going to make mistakes. Yeah. And I want you to always do your best, and sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And to me, that's what makes ultimately a good role model. And that's what like I was thinking about, because you have to have accountability when somebody is a leader, right? Yeah. And a good person to look up to can say, I did wrong. Yeah. And that's okay. And I'm still like human. I'm still worthy of, you know, sometimes these accolades as well, even when I fuck up. Yeah. You know, because it's not wrong to put sometimes people on that pedestal, especially when they've done major accomplishments. But you do have to realize that they aren't perfect.
Yeah.
They will mess up. They will fall. And you have to, do you still think they're lovable after that?
Yeah.
I think that's also an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, for me, when I was younger, when they fell from grace, I was like, they're not perfect? Like, fuck, I don't want anything to do with you. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes, too, still to this day, I can admit, when I admire certain qualities about somebody, and it will just be one quality, when I realize that it's gone, my love for you is gone, too. Or the thing that I loved about it was gone, too. You know? So it makes me think, like, that person maybe isn't being accountable, or I question, why was I really following them?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You're almost mad at yourself in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I question, like, why was it really stuck in something meaningful to begin with, right? Because if I was really fucking with them and if they were accountable, I would have kept going in a sense, right? But, like, I feel like a lot of the people or a lot of the times in these qualities, like, they aren't accountable, so I let it go, you know?
Yeah. Accountability makes a hell of a difference when it
does.
comes to you respecting someone, or me respecting someone, or maybe you guys too. I feel for a lot of people, if someone is able to admit when they fucked up, I will respect you more than you pretending you didn't fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, we can both sit here and pretend it didn't happen, but I know what happened. You know what happened.
Yeah.
And if we're not going to talk about it, I'm probably going to judge you for the fact that you ignore it. You like to ignore your shortcomings.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people in positions of power, whether it be parents, bosses, teachers, how many times did we have teachers that someone would be like, oh, I think that's like that. And instead of being like, oh, thank you. Like, I miswrote that. They get all, like, pissy and, like, they can't handle it. Like, bro, relax. You're a human. Like, it's fine.
Right.
You know, like, this doesn't mean that you're not a qualified whatever.
Right, that you're not smart. Like, everyone makes
But you could
mistakes.
tell with certain adults, especially, that they have a hard time accepting their failures. Like, even small ones. They get all, like, weird. I'm like, fucking relax. I'm not looking at you like you're weak. Like, you just fucked up. You had a moment of weakness. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the moment of weakness, because to me it's like cheating. When everybody like, it was a moment of weakness. No, I don't resonate with that.
Well, because it goes back to the accountability thing. Like, are you speaking through, like, what you did?
Yeah.
You know, it is like a weird cheating thing of, like, a moment of weakness if you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes this weird, bad thing.
Yeah.
If you aren't able to communicate your shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there were a lot of people in my life who I looked up to as role models, celebrities, people, family members and stuff like that, who weren't holding themselves accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I had a really hard time at a young age, and I feel like that's sometimes why I'm cynical still today. Because I was like, I see the hypocrisy in your shit.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
It's like,
Get it together.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like there is a place for role models still. You just have to know the balance and not let it get too overboard. Like, you can't fangirl the people, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can look up to people and ask them for advice and see how they move, but you can't have a shrine of them and, like, they can do no wrong and you follow everything they've ever done. Like, now you're being weird. Have your own identity.
Yeah.
Is my thing.
Yeah.
Because people will always disappoint you. And that's life. And sometimes you're going to disappoint yourself, and that's life too. It happens to all of us. Every single fucking person.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found an article, and it's about dating, and I want us to react to it because there's like 5 different parts to it. But basically the title of the article is, "If it feels too good to be true, it probably is. Signs you're dating a wolf in sheep's clothing."
Ooh.
And I was just very, very interested.
Yes.
So it's from the Metro by Ellen Scott. Okay, so I say we just go through it. We can split it in between 2 episodes.
Okay.
All right. The first one is, they tell you everything you want to hear. And I feel like we don't talk about this enough.
I don't.
When dates are, like, too easy, or, like, you meet someone and it's too easy, because you realize actually they're agreeing with everything you're saying, and they're just so ready and willing. And it's like they were just dropped into your life, and they're just ready to be your perfect ideal mate.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's like teetering on the lines of like love bombing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
because
it is.
Everything is
It is love bombing.
So perfect. I have the right thing to say. You're the most magnificent, perfect woman or whoever I could have ever met and been with. It's like, okay, I think you're being a little dramatic. Like, I know I'm great, but you know what I mean? I feel like sometimes it's
really dangerous for maybe someone, and I've been here too, that like maybe got out of a really toxic relationship or hasn't really been shown that much love before. So when you have someone sitting across from you that is telling you everything you want to hear and is so available for you from day one, you're going to be like, oh my God, like I've never experienced this before. Like that's a different experience than someone who has a healthy relationship with their self-esteem.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like this one in particular, it can be really, 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 it can be a hard red flag to notice if it's your first time experiencing someone complimenting you all the time, agreeing with you all the time, not fighting you back at all. Everything you want to do, they want to do. You know, which seems nice at the beginning. Yeah. After you got out of a toxic relationship, but also it's fucking boring and it's not going to last.
Yeah.
And you need some friction in a relationship to make it sexy. And I promise you, they probably don't agree with everything, but they know this is how you're going to get hooked.
Yeah.
If they just agree with you. Oh, you go out all the time? I go out all the time. Oh, your favorite food is sushi? My favorite food's sushi. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything.
Yeah. And you're right. It's like sometimes when people want to be in a relationship so badly, they're willing to accept it, you know? And it's like, well, it is sometimes the first time we have gotten this kind of love and affection. And it can be confusing, especially too, because I feel like I often say, you know, when you meet the right person, it should be easy, but not this kind of easy, if that makes sense. Because it's like they are just agreeing with everything you're saying. And I feel like even though all of the dates I go on with my boyfriend, like they're all amazing, like he still can speak his mind. You know what I mean? And there are boundaries that are there. People can be available to you, but you shouldn't be too available. You know what I mean? Like you can't be bending all the way over backwards. Like where's your back?
Yeah.
Where's the bone?
It almost feels a little manipulative.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but in my opinion, when someone's always agreeing with you, when you get to a point where you will want to disagree with them, that is when they get really mad and they show a reaction. Well, we always do what you want to do and I'm okay with it. Well, we're not making us do what I want to do. You always say that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like this has the potential to get a little bit controlling later on too, because of the fact that they've bended over backwards for you and they haven't set any boundaries. So they expect you to do the same. They want you to kind of mirror the way that they're approaching this relationship.
Yeah.
You agree with me, I agree with you. We're never going to disagree. No, I don't think so.
And it's already, like you're saying, starting an unhealthy relationship and bond between them. Like it seems like what you were just describing to me sounds like a codependent relationship.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
A manipulative,
the beginning of a codependent love.
Yes. And like that's not someone who is self-aware and is, you know, caring about themselves really and really ready for a relationship.
My thing is, if someone is from the beginning always just talking about you, what you want to do, oh, you like this, you like that, I feel like it is also a red flag because that means that they have no interest or hobbies of their own. Yeah. Once they get into a relationship, you are their life, which, you know, in movies and in TV shows, like, oh my God, I am his life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that sounds so amazing. Yeah. But actually, it's not. It's gross, and they're probably going to be controlling, and they're going to try and ask you what you're doing all the time. Yeah. Where are you at? What time are you done? Like, you know what I mean?
You want to be
have your own life.
Yeah.
That is also the energy that it is giving me. When someone is just so readily available for you and agreeing with you all the time, they have morphed into you.
You know what? You're so right. Like, where are your friends? What do you like to do?
Not here. They're always, what do you mean? He's your friend now. What you mean? He's been here the whole time. Did you forget? They're like...
I just pictured like a creepy man sitting in the corner like, I'm waiting to be your friend.
Like, I've been here this whole time. Did you forget about me?
Be like, I did, you fucking weirdo.
Oh my God. Yeah, honestly, that is such a red flag. If your friends become his friends and he never had friends since the beginning of your friendship,
right,
run.
And then he's like calling your friends up, trying to like hang out with them more.
No,
like,
stop it. No, that's weird. That's so weird.
Boundaries.
No, actually, that's weird.
Yeah.
I am not, honestly, if I was single, I would want, I don't know, I wish it was like a website. I wouldn't want to hit up his friends, but I want to know, like, what would your friends rate you? Are you a good friend?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst thing you've done to your friend?
Ooh.
I want to know if you're a good friend.
Yeah.
Because if you're a good friend, maybe the chances of you being a good partner are better. But if you're a shitty friend, you sure as hell aren't going to treat me like a dime.
For sure. For sure. These people who you're supposed to be hanging out with regularly.
Yeah. Everyone's like, he a snake, but he's a good time, though. Like, no, that doesn't sound fun to me.
That's not relationship material.
No, actually.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay. All right, the next one says, this is all kind of similar to love bombing, I feel like. It said they engage in future faking. Future faking is another classic tactic to raise up your hopes and make you invest in a relationship. A wolf in sheep's clothing will promise you the world, marriage, globe-trotting adventures, babies, fancy dates at expensive restaurants, the vision of love you've always dreamed of. These promises will never be delivered. Instead, they'll be dangled over you as bait to get you to stay when things turn bad. This is like a nightmare.
It is,
but they be doing that.
They do. I feel like I dated someone who did this, but it didn't work because it freaked me out. Like how much
he did the opposite.
Right. It doesn't work on a Sag.
He needs to read the room. You're talking to a Sagittarius. She does not want to hear about the marriage and kids and all the nine.
Right. I'm like, a wedding in a year. I don't know if we're gonna make it. Like that's really planning, But I feel like people really do this, and when you like them, you get excited about it, and they're really just playing you because they have maybe no intentions of actually staying with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just trying to. I feel like this happens a lot too when they just trying to like fuck, low key, like trying to hit real quick, but you're like maybe being like I don't wanna because.
It's manipulative.
As whatever, as you may want to be. And they'd be like, I'll make you my girlfriend. Like, you could be my wifey. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like everything a woman wants to hear to lock it down. They're like, oh, okay, yep. And then the guy gets what he wants.
Honestly. I just want women, if there's one thing you take away from this episode, stop listening to what they say. Just literally stop. That's why it's important to especially stop listening to what they say during the first 3 months because you don't fucking know them. Let their actions speak for themselves. A lot of people are great storytellers. They're great used card salesmen. And at the end of the day, it's just a personality trait and they're good at it, They're not actually loyal people. They're not actually thinking about the future. They're just so good at setting up this story. And who doesn't love a good story? I love a good story.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like they low-key believe it. They've faked it for so long. They believe it themselves. But when they really don't have that quality, you can peep it out in a few months because you start to see through the cracks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's so sad because I feel like as women, we've been made to think about this life, like marriage, kids, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the perfect life. So men also know this about us, about how society has raised us, and that's what most women want. So of course they know the perfect story to tell you. Mm-hmm. They know what most women want.
Right.
Right. And that's why you weren't a victim, because you didn't want this. No, actually, though, because for some of us, when it gets a little too serious too soon, we want to go the opposite way,
right?
But there's literally women that are the opposite of that, and they're ready to settle down like ASAP. Mm-hmm. And anyone who's willing to give them that, they're down. Yeah, because they feel like this is their chance to live the life of their dreams. Mm-hmm. Finally, my life is starting, even though your life was starting before a man even came to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And again, I feel like this is something super manipulative, and I personally feel like this is just something that they try to do to force you to connect with them sooner or like have sex with them sooner. Like they're trying to pressure you into doing something before you're ready, in my opinion, when they like are giving you all this love bombing type of way in this way.
Because at the end of the day, you start treating them like a boyfriend, like a fiance, like a husband. When they start giving you the future like that, you're gonna be like, oh well, let me show you how good of a wifey I can be.
We're building this future now, but you don't have a title, no ring, no real commitment from this person. But they knew how to reel you in.
Oh, no.
They know how to get it.
Oh, no.
They knew it. They saw that in you, and it's so disgusting.
I know.
But they saw that wifey material in you.
I want you guys to be the opposite of wifey material. This is your homework for the week. I want you to learn to be a wifey. Literally the opposite of wifey material. Like, know how to be it for when you do become wifey, but learn the opposite for dating purposes.
Right.
Like, because I want to see how these men will treat you when you literally provide nothing. And I'm okay with that for you. Not that you are incapable because you're providing everything for yourself, but why does a man that's not giving you anything deserve the best parts of you? You know what I mean? Or the caring sides of you. Like, no. Take care of yourself. I'll take care of me. I'll see if there's potential here, and maybe I'll give you a little bit more of me. I'm not going to jump in showing you everything I got. Like, no.
Right.
No.
I don't have to give you all this love. No. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about gaslighting, because a couple episodes ago, we were talking about, how to respond to a gaslighter. Yes, and I saw this really great Instagram post about how to how you can also better respond. And I was like, this is what I needed to hear back in the day. So I wanted to say it for the gals and the guys out there, for people who may be like gaslighting you in this moment, and like ways to respond in a healthy way. So one of them, and I feel like it was a good post because it like highlights things that people may be trying to gaslight you around, and like directly is like, here's how you can respond. Yeah. So one of them was, let's say your gaslighter is saying, stop being jealous. You can say, stop deflecting. Oh. You know what I mean? Let's like, why are you trying to act like my feelings aren't valid? I was like, I love that response. Stop deflecting. I thought, damn.
I thought you were going to say, stop being a hoe. I was ready for that. I was like, it sounds like they're being a hoe. Because if you're not a hoe, I'm not going to be jealous. You know what I mean?
It's true.
I mean, the therapist response, amazing. But that's truly how I feel about jealousy in general. I feel like a lot of times people just be being whores. And I'm not saying fucking. Like, they're just flirting with anything that walks. And they expect their partner to be like, well, it's just casual conversation. You literally are flirting with everyone in this room. Yeah. How the fuck do you want me to react to that? I'm not a bulletproof vest. Like, I'm going to have feelings, it's going to hurt.
100%.
And I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, stop being jealous. Like, they're trying to dismiss your feelings. And it's like, well, maybe if you didn't act like such a loosey goose, I wouldn't have to look at you as someone that I need to watch out for. Because that's what jealousy comes from. Like, do I need to be worried?
No. And it's true. It's like your partner should be making you feel comfortable in that moment. And if you see that they're pushing it away, it's like, address it head on. Why are you deflecting? Yeah. The best way to like really kind of catch them in their track is like, address it head on. Yeah. What do you do when a child is throwing a tantrum? You're throwing a tantrum.
Easy as that. It's as easy as dealing with the situation. And let's give them the grace of, oh, like they really didn't know they were doing something wrong or to make you feel jealous. If your partner tells you, hey, what you're doing is affecting me and is making me jealous, like you really could be like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. Like, why did that happen? Like, really talk about it. Yeah. But a lot of times these people, when their partner tells them, hey, you're doing that and it's making me jealous or it's, making me angry, they do deflect. They do try to make it seem like they're not doing anything wrong. Like, you're not even thinking about the person that this affected. Clearly, the way you're flirting around doesn't affect you at all, and you would have just been living your life if I didn't bring it up. But it affects me, so I brought it up. So what are we going to do about it? Right. And if they don't feel the need to do something about it, red flag. Huge. Easy as that. You shouldn't have to convince someone that you've been hurt. And this is where gaslighting comes from. If I have to convince you that my feelings matter or that why I feel this way, we're already not on the same page.
Right.
Because I'm going out of my way to tell you, hey, what you did affected me.
Yes.
And if you're already dismissing that, you're manipulative.
100%.
Because this isn't about your experience, baby. I'm talking about mine right now. So listen up.
Exactly.
Do you care?
Exactly.
Or are you going to tell me that what I'm feeling isn't valid?
And that, I feel like, is what this article is saying and what I've come to terms with. It's like when someone's trying to gaslight you, you take the mic back. You know, because they're trying to take the mic and say how you feel. You take the mic back.
Yeah.
And you say, no, I'm not overreacting. I would still like to address my concerns. Like, you are not going to tell me how I feel in this moment.
I feel like that's kind of what I said last time.
It is
that, like, you just have to let them know you're not going to confuse me. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that's what they try to do, is they try to tell you your story again. Yeah. And you're sitting there listening to it like, oh, yeah, you just have to continue to share your feelings. And if you feel like they're already trying to take center stage, it's time to just leave.
Yeah. Because they'll keep trying to talk you in circles like a politician, and that's not what you want. You know what I mean? Like, you know that you're trying to get to a direct source, to a direct answer, and anytime someone's trying to give you the workaround, the walk around about it, you know that that's somebody who isn't valuing your time and doesn't really want to have a real conversation about what's going on.
Yeah, and they clearly don't feel like they can defend themselves. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know why you even feel the need to defend yourself if we're just talking about our relationship. Are you already guilty?
And that's
like,
exactly what is playing out.
Are you already guilty?
Yeah, but we never, I feel like when it's happening, we never see it in that way. But that's exactly what it is. They're immediately already going on the defense. And it's like, we are still trying to prove ourselves, still trying to be like, oh, how can I make this situation better?
Or how can I make you understand?
Yes.
You know, and then we feel crazy because we're trying to make them understand, but really they're just already trying to build up their case.
Yep.
A lot of times I just want people to be, it's so easy, but it's not done enough, I feel like. Really observe people's reactions, people. Sometimes we ask people questions and we're just listening to see what they say back, but we're not really observing their reaction. Sometimes their reaction will tell you more than their words can. And I want you guys to find a way to really be at peace with yourself when things like that are happening. And it's really hard, obviously, when you feel like you're being gaslighted and you're in a heated argument. But if you can find a way to center yourself enough to observe the person you're talking to and how they're reacting, you can really take away a lot from that conversation, more than maybe sometimes words can give you.
Oh,
is my thing. Like, as a Scorpio, all I'm doing is analyzing people. And I just want more people to understand the power of that. Mm-hmm. You don't always have to prove your point through words. You can learn a lot from a situation if you just sit back and observe the way they're reacting.
Yeah, read body language, look at their facial expressions. And I feel like as we're speaking, it reminded me of the wolf in sheep's clothing things that we were just talking about. Yeah. Because I feel like all of those qualities are very similar, like, to the gaslighting. You know what I mean? These men or these people in the wolf in sheep's clothing could very much be doing these gaslighting. You can find yourselves in these situations, you know? Mm-hmm. So I just want people to be aware. Don't let anyone tell you how you're feeling. Even if you feel confused in that moment, I've been there. Just say you need space. Or like Sarah said, read their, you know what I mean? Read their body, read their reactions, and just take a beat, you know, because I feel like that person's also forcing you to react quickly. And that's not when we're working our best as humans. You know what I mean? We need time to react, to read the situation. And clearly you're confused, so you need a little bit more time to figure out what's going on. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Or just walk away because they're being crazy and there's really no reasoning with stupidity, so to say. You know what I mean?
And honestly, some people do their best work. And honestly, I feel like some people do their best work when shit's happening in real time. So they will be the ones to try and get you back. Like, let's talk. No, we got to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you give me a little, like, if you have already told them, hey, I need a little space, like, that should be enough. You know, you don't have to explain why. But people that try to chase you and make you talk about it and keep screaming at you, I can't help but think that, yeah, they actually are committed. They're committed to the way that they gaslight you. And they know they do their best work when you guys continue fighting, because they kind of wear you down to the point where you are just so impressionable, and you basically take on their perception of the situation, which is really scary, honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it just reminds me of politicians, because I feel like they do the exact same thing. They talk you in circles, confuse you, and then you're like, you ready to make a decision? You're like, I guess.
Like, shit, I didn't realize I had to right now.
Right.
And they're like, well, that's what you wanted, remember? And I'm like, I did.
I'm like, did I say that? And you're just confused.
Replay the tape.
Right. And they're like, no, decide.
Yeah. I didn't know you were weak.
Right. Go back to the sleazy Carmen thing.
Yeah.
Sleazy Carmen.
Sleazy used car salesman.
Yes.
That
Sleazy
is an identity we will use often on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people have that personality trait. Like, you know, like Matilda's dad.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you are just overly confident. You think your shit don't stink.
Yes.
And, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of times people will believe someone who speaks boldly and confidently over someone that actually knows the facts but is a little bit less confident in their ability to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confidence sells, I guess, like sex. Full circle.
It really does.
Yeah.
But
I just thought about
confidence.
the fucking aliens and how the U.S. was, you know, putting all these naked bodies. I just imagine I'm thinking confidence and sex sells. Like, we're just going to put ourselves out there and we'll see how we'll be received, okay? The NASA. Let's see what happens. This is our bodies.
If we stand out here butt naked, people will respect it. The galaxy will respect it. Merca.
I can't. Oh my God.
Terrible.
I'm surprised there isn't a porno of like someone putting the first flag on the moon, but they're like naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Moon porn?
I'm sure it is.
I think it is.
Alien porn, moon porn, it has to be a thing.
There you go. Heard it here first.
Right.
All right, kids.
This is not us endorsing alien porn.
Oh, no. I mean, watch what you want. I know there's weirder shit out there. Really don't give a fuck what you do with your life as long as it doesn't hurt people. Thank you for kicking it with your girls while we talk about aliens. Well, we talk about literally everything. Don't forget, we talk about everything on this podcast, spirituality. I don't even know what else we talk about.
Right.
Because I swear all that's going off in my head right now is alien porn.
Oh my gosh.
Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple, Spotify, and if you're watching on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends. If we made you laugh, we're probably going to make them laugh.
Yeah.
We post our YouTube videos every Monday and Thursday, and our podcast goes live every Wednesday on all podcast streaming websites, and then right here on YouTube for the video format.
We're going to link our socials somewhere around here. Make sure you give us a follow. We give you the updates, post cute pics, all that stuff.
All that good
shit. We love you guys. We know that the energy has been like a lot.
Yeah.
Just keep, surviving and trying to take care of yourself out here. We love you. And have a good week.
Rest up.
Bye.